Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, and welcome to the Delta.app One Hub Racing Season 28. Welcome to the P4 tier, and welcome to Sunnyside, Australia, here for the Australian Grand Prix for qualifying day for this race. A championship which has been taken upside down because the championship leader, Addict, is no longer here, which means there is a big opportunity for whoever it is from second downwards to take the lead, which they shall surely do in due course, to overcome and take the top spot of this crown. Joining me, as per usual, it's my dear old friend, it's Mr. Papa.
Good afternoon, Evil. Pleasure to be here. And indeed, we are looking forward to seeing who puts together the pieces Addict left behind. There's a couple of candidates up front. Who would be that prevails in the championship fight?
Oh, certainly, Papa. We've got people like Shiesty, Jack, Jake as well. They're all very close together, second, third and fourth in the championship. And it's going to be a topsy-turvy race. It's going to be difficult to see who is going to be doing well. Shiesty, you presume, is going to be a man on the mission. Finished P4 and P2 in the last two races, of course. DNF'd in the first, just like it seems everyone, it seems, did DNF in the first race on the thing, because it seems to be a little bit bugged out. But nonetheless...
Yes, indeed.
Yes, a little bit of a glitch on the site. I just noticed there. It's like, why is everyone DNF from round one? And then round two and three. So don't worry, everything's fine. We are in round three. I've not gone mad. But talking of people that need to have a good afternoon, I'm looking at it here. It's P7, Jamie. He is lagging extremely badly. I will say he said he's had connection issues. So hopefully nothing bad happens there. But this is very laggy.
Yes, riding on board with him, it does not feel really stable, that connection.
Yeah, especially for the hose. So hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. Ooh, gets it through turn number one all correctly, though. And well, nearly incorrectly on the grass. He comes down towards turn number two. Tricky corner down on to about third gear. Just about third gear into second on the exit. It's quite difficult to see what's happening here. But again, up through here. Flat little right kink. Then, of course, into the newer section. It's the first time I've commentated, by the way, on this new layout. So obviously, used to be a lot slower through there. It used to be a chicane here, which normally I crashed in because I was... Or I used to cut the chicane and just do this layout anyway, but maybe that's where they did it.
Yeah, it was a bit sketchy. Now you have that high-speed, fast sector, obviously. Jamie indeed talked about racing being a little bit sketchy still there because of the high speeds you're going. Also, there's two DRS detection points, but 4 DRS zones, so that will be quite pivotal in the race as we see Jamie finishing up this lap. He wants to perform better than he did last races, obviously with that 10-second grid penalty, taking his engine penalty today. He won't be starting up front, so let's see what he puts up. A 1:17.965 for him, the first time on the board.
Yeah,
as Gamer James goes quicker.
Yeah, 17.7 as we look towards the hopeful championship leader after tonight. Well, this afternoon, sorry I say, but that is Shiesty through the second sector, was purple. Unsurprisingly, we know how quick he is around here. Reaper's 16.8 as we start to build the laps up then. Everyone's starting to get their times on the board through the last corner. Let's see where can Shiesty go. Can he get himself up toward the front of the grid or onto pole? So far, 5th position, so needs to take another couple of laps and stabs out of it as we see down the field. Who have we got? We've got Ivan coming through the last corner. I don't know if he is on a lap time. He seems to be on a lap time, but I don't think it's going to be putting himself up near the front. 12th position for him, a 1:20, so something definitely went on for his lap time. And we're looking down to see Jake and Helvika on a lap time. Jake will be the first of the two to get to the lap time. And of course, we do are just going to say wishing Riley a happy birthday, by the way, as we are reading his birthday weekend. So happy birthday to him if it's come or gone already, as Jake getting a bit too on the curb there. We'll have the throwers at the Alpine just ahead of him, but I'll come into the pit lane through the last corner, hook it up to the right hand side and up to the line. Let's see where he can go. That needs to get himself about a 15.7 would be ideal for him, but we're not going to be doing 15.7s right now, and he's doing a 17.6, so wishful thinking of 15.7. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, but it is truly blistering pace up there. Reaper with a 1:16 as the only one really putting the benchmark here. After a few setbacks the last races, he said in the pre-race commentary that penalties held him back massively on the track, and he felt that he did have better pace, showing it out there tonight in the qualifying. Obviously there's still time to go for the others, but Red Bull up front 1-2. McLaren really not showing any pace, and Mercedes also struggling.
Yeah, talking of the Mercedes, Jack Craig, Purple Sector 1. But of course, as I well know on this game, Purple Sectors mean absolutely nothing on this game for the commentators, because we never know what is going on, because it does sometimes have a little bit of issues. But let's see, second sector split coming up in a second time, and it is Purple Sector 2 as well, so this does look like it is a good lap time. Yellow flag Sector 3, that's the Mercedes of his teammate coming into the pit lane through the last couple of corners. Here comes Jack, who's currently sitting P3 in the standings through the last corner. Hooks it to the left, gets on the power to the right hand side, a little bit twitchy on the rear, but will keep the car going. Let's see, can he get himself on the front row of the grid? Purple, and it is P4 on the grid for the Mercedes. Riley saying, what is the camera angles? Well, you'll notice, if you've been watching, that all the cameras are different, because I have painstakingly gone in and decided to, for some reason, do all the camera angles as close as they can to be real life. Why? Because I don't know, it was cool. Nonetheless, Red Bull 1-2, Ferrari in P3, and the Mercedes in P4. Down the back, Ocon yet to set a lap time, and he's just beginning it.
Yeah, but the Ferrari up there in third is also a big surprise, especially after he said he didn't really have time to put in the practice needed. He felt he didn't really have the pace tonight, so good outing there, being up front real quick, although it's really close. Really tight between those guys. Reaper really setting a lap no one can reach so far. Let's see on the second try how they get along.
Mike is saying I've been coaching the Ferraris in chat, so let's see what Ocon can do. Yellow flags there, that's a McLaren getting out of the way. I believe that might be Jamie. It's certainly one of the two McLarens. There's another one just up the road. A little bit deeper, gets again hooked up. Of course, that is a much later apex now than it used to be. Nearly flat through this corner. Now then, of course, last two corners as we get ready for the end of qualifying in due course. Just under 9 minutes to go. Ferrari around the last corner. Where can he put that car? Currently P16 without a lap time. Will be good if you get in the top 5. And eventually the game will say us. It goes P10. So a little bit of a lag going on here with the telemetry, it seems, as well. So hopefully that sorts itself out. Hello to Rydog in the chat as well as everyone. Alpine now on his lap time.
Yeah, Scheisty about to start his lap as well. He really struggled to get the car out there. Stuck into first gear, waiting for cars to get by in the final sector, waiting to start his lap. His tires must be cool now. Let's see. Also, the Aston Martin still in the way. Is he gonna... No, it's a Mercedes? No, it's an Aston.
It's a car. Joe goes fastest. What about Curly? In a few seconds' time, it goes 14th. Missed it in the wall there. I say that was the Aston Martin I was looking at. And Red Bull now 1 and 2 again. Jamie in P3, albeit teleporting absolutely everywhere. This is, oh dear. Oh. Well, I don't know where he is. I think, is he disconnecting? Or I think he's disconnected.
It's Schrödinger's Jamie. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere.
Oh, he's
Let's hope it's not an
gone.
obstacle for the race.
Or is he in the pit lane? I don't know where he is. He says he's in the pit lane. As you all saw on my screen, he was not in the pit lane. That hopefully can be fixed. That could be a concern if he's lagging that much in the race. As Nightcrawler comes in the pit lane. As I can't actually scroll through the... there we go. It was really struggling to scroll through the grid then. So I think the game might be a little bit broken slightly here. Red Bull 1, 2. We got the white ball back today then as well. We always like the white ball. And there you can see Jamie in the pit lane. And finally in the pit lane there. And it's actually showing it. So IDN up 4 temps in Sector 1 in the Racing Bulls. Right.
Yeah, the 2 Red Bulls up there, trying to join the championship fight in the manufacturers, obviously. Currently sitting at P4 with 27 points, P1 with 51 points, already a stretch. So they have to put in the scoring to really get ahead of the curve.
Yeah, they really need to. I'm just typing a message to Jamie to let him know. I presume he knows he's lagging. As I can't spell a single word for some reason, teleportation has now gained new letters this afternoon. And looking down the field, see who really needs to get a good lap time. Helvecki, you can say he's not having a good thing, but more crucially, Red Bull's rejoining out inside each other. It's Shiesty. He needs a lap time here, and he just, so for some reason, hasn't managed to get it yet in the first 2 attempts. This will be his third. Hello to Colin in the chat as well. So Shiesty needs to get on with this. He needs to do it now, or he's not going to have a lap. And if he doesn't have a lap, he will be starting 9th. And that's not where he needs to be. And yes,
especially on this track where you really don't want to be starting in the back. It's another one of those where you can really be stuck in traffic, even though you have the better pace. Being in a DRS train is always pain. You can't really clear that quickly enough to recover the positions. You may feel you would need to get the position you want. So let's see if Shiesty can put it up front. His teammate trying to put the fight to the Red Bulls. Obviously with that 10 place grid penalty, he won't play a far part in the early stages. But let's see.
What's came out eventually is here we are, Helvecki then, down towards the quick left-right chicane. He is 4 temps up in Sector 2, Purple Sector 2 according to the telemetry, and 18-2, so far looking it will be around about P10 or 11. Chuck it down on the brakes into the right hand, and nice over the curve, a little bit of hopping on the exit into this scoring. He's used absolutely all of his ERS that he can physically use already. Down into the last corner. Riley saying he's smart on the telemetry. Well, let's see. Where can he go? P13 right now. I think he's going to put him around about P9, you know, up to the line. P11, so close enough. And we've got the other Haas. That's going slowly. Invalidated his lap time. So where is Shiesty? 3 temps up. Sector 1 is rejoining. And again, a man who needs to be on the front row of the grid, ideally if he can, this afternoon. It's critical for his championship to get a move on, especially because the championship leader no longer here. If he wants to do it now, he can take the initiative. It was Sector 1 purple, Sector 2 up as well. And Riley's saying going to be P4. Let's see then, through the last 2 corners, the McLaren sticking to the circuit absolutely perfectly. Through he comes then, second last corner. Now into the last corner. The crowd roaring for the McLaren, the Papaya team, up to the line. Can he do it? Can he get himself on the front row of the grid? P6. Can't do it again. So, and We'll have one more lap if he has it, but this is not turning to be the afternoon the McLarens want.
One thing I want to mention is in the pre-race interviews, Joel Fletz answered one of those questions with, "This is mine." He really seems to enjoy this track, and he sure puts the pace required for those words on the track as well. Up front, couple of hundreds only between him and his teammate, but they will be working together up front and getting back into that championship fight as it stands. Because I tell you what, the Mercedes boys, even though they're confident, they don't... I can't see them finding 410s.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. And looks like we are going to get a new host potentially. I think Jake's going to be hosting after this. And yeah, 4 times, a lot to find, but it's the Red Bulls doing all they need right now. Reaper, 2 temps up as we join him, but he hasn't come through Sector 1 yet. So, I mean, if it's 2 temps already in one corner, it's impressive. Very wide through there, but keeps it on the island. Through he comes then. He's 37 thousandths down. We'll get a lovely Tolo for exactly 0.1 of a second from, I think that was, was it his teammate? No, it wasn't his teammate. It was the Racing Bulls. You see, I'm always going to get confused with all these because they're all running, 2 of them are running the same livery. 49 thousandths up there. We'll get a distant tow off the Alpine. And what he needs to do, only find just under a tenth to get himself on the front row. Well, he's on the front row, but to get himself onto pole position. Here he comes, a corner that's caught many a driver out, including Daniel Ricciardo in 2017 on Australia. Binned it down there, taking too much speed. That's the only car I've seen off going through that corner pretty spectacularly, to be fair. But up to the line, Reaper, can he get himself on pole position? No, can't quite do it. Stays in second for the time being. Bryce not on a lap time. Fox through the last corner is on a lap time. What's he going to do then? He crosses the line in a few moments' time. Does he improve? 4 temps up. Stays in 12th on my screen. So it's going to be interesting. Who's going to be doing what? But it's certainly going to be a tall order for some. Nightcrawler. And the other cars coming through, a 10th up for the Ferrari.
Yeah, time is running up. People really need to get to the line now to start their laps. Only 30 seconds left. Everyone, their final bullet to prove that they deserve the pole position tonight. Let's see.
Well, I tell you what here, Papa, Shiesty's not going to get a lap time in here if we've got 30 seconds left. Neither is Oken, because he's invalidated his lap time at the last corner. So Shiesty has not done well here. He is out of qualifying. And whatever has happened there for the McLaren in terms of strategy, it's gone wrong. Because he's not going to get a lap time in. As a few drivers come into the pit lane, Jamie on a lap time. The leader, well, pole position on a lap time. Oken did get a lap time, but Jamie's not because he's in the gravel. And that is not what he wants to do. Frustration again for the Ferrari drive, for the McLaren driver, should I say. And, yeah, Oken did get a lap time in the end then. He was invalid through the last corner of red, but I thought it might have invalidated both, but somehow has got away with it. 4 temps up. And let's see where he can put this car again, though. It's difficult to see the grid very, very compacted. 16.6 for pole. We go down to 12 and it's a 17.7. So pretty much... Oh, that's the wall! And that is not what the Ferrari wanted to do. And a second car I've seen go off in that corner. And that time it's Oken. And that's the end of his lap time. Jake through the last corner. Yes, he got anything in the Mercedes. And a lot of mistakes here.
He threw everything away in the last corner. He slipped, he slided, he drifted. That's not going to improve his lap time.
Yeah, that is it.
Mark Crawford up there, though, that is another surprise for me. He didn't really show up front there the last races, did he?
Yeah,
this is a specialty for him.
As in the pit lane comes the Ferrari. Riley's saying, I think the Ferrari hit the wall. I think he did, because he's lost the front wing. Unless you're talking about Jake, who definitely had a mistake as well. But Joel, Reaper, and Mark, your top three. Of course, we are looking to be having a restart after this, or potentially a new host. So we shall see what happens in a few moments, if we are getting one, or we are going to be keeping this one. But don't forget, of course, if you are new here, to like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well to keep up to date with all the action from One Hub this evening and afternoon. Of course, P3 starting at 4:30, and I don't know who's commentating on that one. I've heard some new bloke is going to be joining us there called Evil, so we'll see what happens double commentating. But you're great. Joel, Reaper, Mark, Jack, Jamie with the 10-place grid penalty, Nightcaller, Shiesty, Jake, Oaken, IDM, James, Fox, Helvecker, Curly, Bryce, and Ivan in the back there. Of course, we're just going to get ready for a new session in a little bit, but whilst we do that, I'm going to put you on the spot again, Papa. You know what time it is.
It's time for great partners and sponsors who support us. Leading the way as our title sponsor is Delta.app. Delta is designed for investors aged 18 and over, giving you the power to track all your investments in one place and make smarter decisions. If you're watching on Twitch, you can simply type !Delta in chat or click the link in the YouTube description later on to start tracking your investments today. We're also proudly supported by Next Level Racing, who provide high quality sim racing equipment and contribute exciting prizes each season, of which I also already have profited, so big shout out to them. Great stuff. Performance on track is everything, of course, if you're competing with us, so that's where sim racing setups comes in. They provide a professional setup bundle for F1 25, created by top esports drivers. Their package includes dry, intermediate and wet setups, plus 2 dry setup options, safe and esports. They sponsor our league by awarding vouchers to weekly driver of the day winners, as well as to the driver of the season. And you can use the code OneHubRacing to get 5% off their setups. Our next setup partner is Pure Sim Gear. They provide premium sim racing socks and gloves to the drivers who achieve the most fastest laps and pole positions combined throughout the season. You can also use the code OHR10 to get 10% off their sim racing socks and gloves. So check them out. Our official apparel is powered by Vespertine, who supply our league merchandise and contribute fantastic merch prizes across the season. Their support ensures our community can represent the league in style, both on and off track. Finally, our seasons are powered by SimGrid, which provides the community platform that allows us to organize, manage and run our championships smoothly, giving drivers and fans a professional competitive environment to start and finish.
Thank you indeed. Sorry, I got caught off guard there, seeing that car fly across my screen on the start line. that caught me so off guard. The driver's giving us a little bit of entertainment before we get underway. We are having a new lobby. That's how the Aston will react if the car comes up good this season. Yes, I think it will be very good if Aston Martin were good this season. Of course, we might have a few differences this season due to the ongoing issues in the world, if you've been watching the news, but hopefully a few races like Bahrain and Saudi should be going ahead in a month's time, but we shall see. Getting ready for a new lobby, and we shall be getting it, and I believe, from understanding, Jake's hosting it, so we'll get an invite from Jake. I'll invite you, don't worry, Papa, if you don't get an invite. It's just looking as my phone is going mad. What has happened? It's football stuff. Excellent. So, a few moments' time, new lobby. But let's just see how is everyone in the chat today. Rumours Turkey will replace Bahrain if the conflicts aren't resolved. Wouldn't mind a good old race at Turkey. It's a lovely circuit. What's your opinion, Papa, on Turkey?
I never actually seen it in action, to be honest. It fell in a time where I didn't watch Formula One or drive yet, so I can't tell you really, but I would be obviously very excited to get to know a new track.
Yeah, thank you, Mike, for confirming. Man United 2-1 up, and Spurs getting relegated pretty much at this rate. It's not looking good. As we look at the cars whilst we're waiting for a few moments' time. So yeah, first time I've seen all this actually. So anyway, that is a lot of text. I'm not reading that. And let's see. Should be getting an invite in a moment. As we're just having a slight cool moment, whilst of course, like I said, everything's getting sorted out. And I will say, what would you say is the your favourite livery on this grid?
On the current one or
on this game?
One on this game. I believe the Golf Williams would be a nice one, and the white Red Bull, obviously. But there's so many nice ones, couldn't pick one. I would really like more options to get what you really want out of the editor, though. I've been screaming and hustling with that for years now. Every time it comes to those nice all-star events Cam organizes, I try to put in the effort, but you barely can recognize anything after all. Just the color schemes, because it doesn't really give you the influence you'd want to edit anything at all, basically. What is your favorite livery? I seem to know that you're kind of struggling to call them apart. I do have that feeling as well.
Yeah, especially when all of them look the same, but I will say I do like the Hassler. I've just noticed about it. It's a really neat detail, and I've only noticed it. The exhausts have all got different texturing on it, and I've only just noticed that. Maybe I'm being a little bit entertained by exhaust whilst we're waiting for the lobby, but it's actually quite. Never noticed how different they actually all sit. So just looking through all the 24 F2 cars, and of course all of these guys, very pretty cars. Well, I do like the Primas, absolutely gorgeous car. I'd say especially more Ollie Behrman's one than Antonelli's. A little bit bland, and so I'm just scrolling through, waiting for invite as well. What I will say though, that is a very neat livery. The Road and Motorsport of Miata. Crawford has got, I think that's the Williams. Correa, a very yellow car. Just looking to see if we're going to get invites at any time. Well, I'm trying to keep myself entertained under this one. Luckily, we've got these guys to look at. That is a very bland livery. As we're scrolling through. The Red Bull livery, and I can say I'm very glad the Red Bull has gone back to more of a glossy finish, because as much as I do like the look of these matte Red Bulls, they're just not really ever been the same.
It is kind of reminiscent of those 2010 era Sebastian Vettel style Red Bull cars, but well, I never really liked Red Bull, to be honest. I did say the white Red Bull looks nice, but it's not because of the style or anything. Even though I was a great Vettel fan, I did not like them winning because of well, same as in football. Some outsider coming in. Obviously, in F1, it's totally different. So yeah, I lack the words to express my feelings about that.
There seems to be a little bit of an issue here. I can't actually get into the session. Now I can. Thank you, Jack, for letting me in. I just spammed the let me join button. Just let me in. There we go. We're in. And after a small delay, now I do believe this might potentially push back P3 for a few moments. So hopefully we have enough time, but P3 may be ever so slightly delayed, which will be fine. And reading in the chat. And just seeing over in the chat, run through the pre-race interviews. Yes, now I need to figure out where they are because I get lost in this chat. It's somewhere in here. And I can't find them half the time. So, Papa, I'll leave that to you, because I can't find it.
I just made some notes, to be honest. It's difficult. I suggested that we may organize them by tiers to make it a little bit easier. But, yeah, let's see. So, we have Shiesty. I did not find any answers of him. Jack, obviously really looking forward to another one, had a good race and wants to keep his streak up. Not really the case today, but let's see what he can make in the race. His teammate Jake is also very confident, looking forward to the race. Is a guy that surprisingly does not really practice. He said that just puts pressure on him and he feels more free to race if he doesn't put in the effort. Interesting approach. Let's see if that bites him tonight, because in a grid as tight and close as this, it should really make a difference if you practiced, if you're experienced, if you have the old tires under your belt those laps, or if you don't. So let's see. He will hope for a safety car in the end, or is pretty optimistic that one will show up and wants to take advantage of it. Joel, also very excited. I already told you, he answered, "This one is for me." And I quote him on that because I found this approach refreshingly forward. Those guys really want to show up now that Addict is gone and put the fight up to the front. So Joel is expecting, after learning a couple of lessons, simple mistakes in the first two races, to put it up front. And he showed that in qualifying tonight as well. Both Ferraris were not anticipating a great result, so the coaching Mikey did to them really seems to have worked out in the end. They are firmly in the top 10 as rookies. I don't think that's too shabby. So let's see how they race tonight, and if that coaching of Mikey's is a pure driving style oriented, or if it also involves a little bit of attitude. Let's hope they keep it clean tonight. James, well, he's improved during practice. He's one of those guys who really put in the effort and feel that it helped them. A lot of these guys feel the setup is key. So again, a shout out to our partner. Check out their setups. It's at least a great foundation to tweak a little bit, if not the perfect driving style. If your driving style doesn't fit perfectly, still a lot of options there to get a good glimpse of what's possible. Who do you reckon will do good tonight? I know you're not a predictions guy, but let's see if I can get a little with something of you.
Yeah, I gotta say, Jack's got a good chance. I was talking to Michael in chat, in DMs, to say I've just noticed something, by the way, and hopefully someone can fix that. I don't have access to all the drivers' questions or any of the driver hub. It's not there for me, so hopefully that can be fixed, because I've only just noticed it, because I was like, oh, maybe I'll look at it, and it's not there. Slight issue. Nonetheless, luckily we have you. But, again, Jack's a guy I think is going to have a good afternoon. Jake as well. He's very quick. He can be a little bit quite unlucky sometimes, but that happens. And Shiesty, he's got to have a good race here. I mean, the championship is wide open. There is a lot of drivers gunning for it. And looking at the thing, is Shiesty, he's on 29 points. Jack is in second, and Jake is in third. So it's quite close between these three. And you gotta say, Jack right now has potentially got a little bit of momentum growing on his side.
Well, the Mercedes guys, they both have been very confident early on. Before the first race, they even called out they want to fight for the wins, for the constructors at least. So I really expect those guys to perform, and I'm a little bit concerned with the disparities sometimes between what they say and what they deliver on track. So I think the Ferrari saying of last year, less talking and more driving, let's see if they put it on the tarmac tonight. But you're right, Shiesty really needs to have a good race here. Where does he start now with our penalties applied, do you know?
Somewhere, I'll say that
somewhere,
much.
Yeah, well,
somewhere on the grid.
We need to have a good start.
Yes, we do. We're just rambling a little bit whilst we're just figuring out what we'll be doing. I think we have everyone in the server right now. So I've set the music on the game towards a much more cinematic music. There was a button, and it's very hyping, I will say. I'm getting ready when you are, so it looks like we are just about to be underway then here for Australia. And like I say, P3 may be slightly delayed. We shall find out if that's going to be delayed or not, because I'm commentating on it, so you'd hope so. Otherwise, we're going to be doing the ultimate back-to-back streaming, which will be fun. Not the first time I've done it. Thing, but here we go. Ready up. Do not ready up on the grid, otherwise, as I found out, and as our dear fellow commentator Salau found out, he gets put in a dark room and beaten with sticks by the admin.
Yes, indeed. Also, remember to load your setups. It's been a while. Don't just press through it and forget to load your setup, because that would be a huge setback. And then obviously wait for your tier coordinator to give the go, and then it's lights out and away we go.
Yes, most certainly indeed. Mike's saying he's having a nice coffee and having a little bit of a smoke, and he'll be underway for watching us. And we do like all our fellow drivers and commentators. Well, it's always good to see everyone interacting in the chat, of course, here in beautiful sunshine Australia for the Australian Grand Prix. Of course, Albert Park first hosting a race back technically in the 1950s, but in Formula One, of course, 1996. I believe has got an extension on this circuit until the mid-2030s at least, so we're not getting rid of it. And it's always a thing, which do we prefer, Adelaide or Australia? I do have a very big soft spot for Adelaide. Of course, you can't really do F1 around there because it's a massively different circuit. But of course, if you do remember the older Adelaide circuit before the V8 supercar has basically cut it in half, it is a very fast circuit.
Yes, it's also our first street circuit of the year, so very high speed, very narrow layout, not a permanent racetrack, and every mistake will count. So if you go slightly off track and touch the grass, you may spin into the wall, and that's game over. So concentration up for all of the race to keep it out of the walls and out of each other, especially turn 1 now. I really hope we don't see any shenanigans going on there. Mike is trying to talk those Ferraris out of into surviving first corner. Yes, exactly the spirit.
Well, you'd be concerned if they're trying to talk each other out of the first corner. That wouldn't be ideal. They'll just back out of turn 1, lads. Just don't do it. Yeah, we do like seeing our drivers attack all the time, and like saying, classic circuits will be a nice addition back. Yes, of course. Last time we saw classic circuits, 2013, when we had Brands Hatch, Jerez, I believe it was, and I think it was Estoril and, of course, Imola. I believe, if memory serves correctly. Of course, Imola, currently still on the game. Well, not in F1 next year, but, well, it's always good. A circuit I would love to see in Classic is Hockenheim. Absolutely adore the Hockenheim ring. And the Nürburgring as well, for that mention. We just need it, and I think we should be getting... need Malaysia, yes, another circuit. Absolutely iconic. You might as well just put quite a lot of the Tilkodrome circuits in as well, especially the earlier ones like Malaysia, Turkey as well. Very classic circuits, and the very nostalgic circuits now as well. As just seeing around the sky nice and blue. Dry race forecast for this afternoon's Grand Prix.
Yes, indeed. With our adaptive weather system, obviously, we do know the weather pretty good.
Someone's
it's set on approximate...
readied up early, apparently, says Mikey. So, we should be getting underway in a moment, but well, I did say someone's going to get in the dark room, but here we are with 5 red lights. Here, down under in Australia, it's lights out, and away we go then. It is the Red Bulls leading themselves down towards turn number 1. On the inside, are we going to get through correctly? It's Joe leading from Reaper, everyone through turn number 1. What, very few cars off the road there in turn number 1. Who was that off? There was trouble, and there's lag going on everywhere at the back of the grid. And that's Jamie, I think, lagging. I think that was what's caused it. But it's Joe with an extremely good start. Papa is disconnected. Oh dear, there's trouble for
yeah, only from the race.
Only from the race. You're still here live with us, but disconnecting and issues. We've got yellow flags, and there's a car in the wall. And who is that? That's Helvecker in the wall very heavily. 10 seconds for Jake. And there's trouble and carnage. And more trouble here. VSC is deployed. Jake has been given a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. And I wonder if everyone got their setups on. Another car.
Give me an invite, possibly.
I shall do now. Don't worry, my dear friend. I have got you with the beautiful invitation from the party right there. So again, damage for IDN. Shiesty up in 4th position, but carnage and trouble. I didn't see what happened there because the cameras weren't quite looking. Everyone's got a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Everyone, nearly. Well, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 6th, 7th, all with drive-through penalties, and this is absolutely remarkable. I have never seen this in my entirety of my commentary career. The top 4, all with penalties, all with drive-throughs. And this goes to say that James will lead the race unless we are potentially having issues here with the connection still. As contact, and there goes James, has gone round. Ferrari involved, the front wing is gone on the Ferrari as well. What carnage has occurred in the first 2 laps of Australia? What is going on here? And into the wall. The Ferrari and the Alpine now in trouble. And the Alpine's now got damage on the front right end plate. The front left end plate. So to say the Ferrari's now off the road. Oh, it's all gone to tatters right now. The Ferrari's scraping along the roll. And well, this is absolute chaos. And this means to say, I think the race leader here now is going to be Mark Crawford in the Alpine. Because James is going to presumably come in the pit then with damage. As Reaper dives to the inside of Jack into the corner. He's got the job done. And there's the McLaren now going up the inside as well. And they all got to have to come in the pit lane to serve the penalties. And oh, more contact. And Shiesty's run into the back. And he's lost his front wing. And this is turning into chaos. In comes Reaper. In comes everyone. We didn't practice for speeding under the VSC. And this is absolute chaos. And this goes to say, this is going to throw up a new race winner for certain.
Let's see what the rest of those 26 laps we have offer. It is absolute chaos down there. It must have been effect of people around you not really applying the Delta correctly, and so you are unsure if you're doing the mistake or if they're doing the mistake, but you don't want to be left behind, so they all drove in each other into getting a time penalty, a drive-through penalty, because I believe that's because they didn't correct the Delta, or they got caught out because it did finish quite early, did it?
It definitely finished early, so James has not got any front wing damage. I thought like he was one of the cars that had front wing damage, but Jack Crawford has the front wing damage. He has a drive-through penalty. Show his Shiesty and Oaken, they didn't serve their penalties. For whatever reason, their penalties were not served, so they're going to have to come in again. So their race pretty much is done here, because they're going to be nearly a lap down. In comes Jack into the pit lane. Now, I'm going to see here. Is he going to serve his drive-through, or is he going to be going to take the front wing? He goes straight through. I'm just getting a message here. Is the lobby look odd? Yes, something is definitely not right with this lobby. Something has gone wrong. I'll say that much is true. So there might be another restart, potentially on our way if there's issues, but it seems potentially things may be starting to cool down now, but I do not know if that was a glitch or not. I've never seen, was it 8 people with drive-through penalties in the space of, well, a second, as James has now lost lead to Crawford, so unsurprisingly Crawford will lead this race, and he is doing what he needs to do for now. Curly, of course, in the other Alpine, he's got front wing damage. That means the Aston Martin of Bryce, who was right down the back of the grid, finds himself now in 4th position as Jack Cray gets himself a time penalty, and off the road into, oh, never mind, and not into the wall goes Jamie. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is very bad for Jamie. Here's a lot of lag right there, and we did say he had connection issues. I thought that was him at Dunner then.
Yeah, the sad part about this is it's not only bad for him. I mean, you see on stream, you can't really predict a guy like that on track, but you lose so much time when you're driving behind that because you have to be safe, but you want to get past. So difficult situation here. Sad that technical issues play a part in this. Don't know if that might have played a part in the start as well.
Oh, Bryce off the road. What's happened to Bryce? He's gone off the road at turn 4. And he's taken the... Oh, there's going to be contact into the wall! And there is another car, and it's the Aston Martin, who has been squeezed into the wall. Nothing the Red Bull could have done about that. He tried to... Jamie has hit Bryce with the lag, apparently. So, that is what happened. And then the Red Bull, there was nothing he could do. It's such a fast kink to the right that he can get out of it in time, and he's squeezed him into the wall, and there's more trouble there, and that is going to be a pit lane then straight away, and he's off the road, and he's got damage. I think certainly might have floor damage, and it seems we are going to be continuing on, so whatever has happened, but it's Mark Crawford on lap 5, beginning lap 6, who leads the Australian Grand Prix from James in 2nd, Curly in the pit lane, to get rid of Lowe's medium compound tyres. Remember, he has a front wing damage and will presumably take the new front wing as well. So that's going to drop him down the field, which means Jamie is going to be in P3. Albeit, I think the meatball flag might need to be waved if that continues with a lag that's going on. Out comes Curly in 9th. And of course, like we said, there's nothing that you can do about the lag, unfortunately. It just seems to be happening. But out comes Curly. now rejoins in 10th. But remember, of course, Slow, he is, I think, one of the first guys. Let's get all the telemetry up to see who is doing what on what strategy, which is one of these. Yeah, so Ivan's done his first stop. All these drivers say they've done the first stop. But I think that's counting their drive-through penalty as well. So it's going to be a very difficult race now to see who is doing what after this one. Like I say, I've got to feel sorry for Bryce. He was running up near the podium until that incident, as he got a car getting overtaken. There's the Ferrari battling away with Nightcaller. So Reaper and Nightcaller battling for 4th and 5th position so far. But like I say, up front, and really doing well right now. Pulling away. He's got that gap. What is it now? 4.2 seconds the gap up front then for Mark Crawford. James in 2nd. Jamie in 3rd, albeit with a potential issue with lag. Definitely. But so far, it seems to starting to cool down now as the field starts to spread out ever so slightly. So first 7-lap review then from Papa.
Yeah, the review is, as you can see, pretty terrible racing start. I don't really not sure. We have to wait for the replays for some sort of footage POV to really get a glimpse of what was going on there. Obviously, Mark Crawford doesn't mind at all. He's up front, pulling away from James in 2nd and Jamie in 3rd. Reaper in 4th will be, trying to get back up to those guys. He was saying in the pre-race interviews that he really feels that he needs to give it 99%.
Ferrari off into the gravel. Is he going to get it back out? He somehow didn't rear end the Red Bull. Sorry to cut over you there. This is turning into a little bit of a kinetic race here, isn't it? Back to you.
It is. Those drivers really need to calm down their nerves and not put up their elbows. Forget what was happening, whatever happened in the first lap. You cannot keep fighting like this. It's dangerous for everyone involved. I don't know, obviously, it's never a case of on purpose. In these cases, it's just a little bit too much risk because you're over eager, because everything fell apart quite early on. So now our first pit stop from the front. Curl.
James just came in, got rid of those tyres. He's gone on a set of hard compound tyres, so he'll be pushing on. IDN, of course, has stopped as well, but I think that is for the drive-through penalty, I think, potentially, because it's going to, like I said, it's going to be difficult here, as Ivan gets a time penalty right now, and Oaken gets a time penalty as well, so they come in twos, as here comes Ivan and Curly side by side down the straight, and Curly up into 7th position. Further back we've got Jake, and then I think potentially a move coming in a few moments' time for Fox, looking on the back of Shiesty. Thinks about the outside, and there wasn't a gap there, and he nearly forced a gap and put himself in the wall, but somehow has got away with no damage. So, well, you can say that wasn't the ideal strategy, and that's not going to help it matters at all, because he's now in the gravel. He's hit the rear of the McLaren, and he's put himself down into the gravel, and I think there's another car in the gravel behind nearly. So there's certainly, and Joe Flats has got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so the Red Bull in trouble as well. And what it seems these drivers maybe have had too much of the Fosters, it seems, because there is issues everywhere right now with the time penalties.
Losing concentration, speeding in the pit lane is really easy to be made. We've seen other drivers, faster drivers, slower drivers, F it up, I'm sorry.
Oh, there's a naughty.
Yes, I will go into the dark room as well.
Yes, yeah, we're putting you in the dark room from that one. A slight slip up for our dear Papa there. Oh dear. Anyway, moving on. Jack just got ahead of Oaken right there. As like I said, a lot of these drivers with the time penalties, Mark doing what he needs to do there. Lap 10 of 29. Jamie in second, Reaper in third. Will be coming at the pit then, I reckon. Yep, in he comes right now. Gets the car stopped and doesn't speed. Get it nice and slowed down. There we go. Just under plus 48 miles an hour at the speed limit. Got it down to 34. So in he comes. We'll rejoin. It's going to be interesting to see where he's going to come out in correlation to the likes of Curly, who's just coming down the start-finish straight. Should come out, I think, behind him. It might come out behind the Haas as well. On board we are with the Haas. This is going to be very close down towards turn number 1. On the exit of turn number 1, if Ivan's got a bit between his teeth, he'll boost as much power as he can, and will try and sliver away through, but Jack gets a fastest lap of the race, but Reaper that immediately boosting any of his ERS to say, no thank you, I'm going away. Up there, Nightcaller 8th, 7th for Ivan right now, top 2 still yet to come in this race, and this is turning to be a dream afternoon right now, potentially, for Jamie, if he can keep what he's doing where he's going. Currently sits himself in P2. Of course, we are waiting for these guys to come at the pit there. It should be around about lap 14, I believe, for the set of hard compound tyres before they come in the pit lane. Fox and Bryce, the two Aston Martins down the back of the grid. Again, although they were running brilliantly well until those issues earlier on. And you've got to feel sorry for these Aston Martin boys.
Yeah, you gotta. Those are really at the back of the grid right now, struggling to score any points, having negative points as well because of certain situations where you are not on top of everything. So they really need to just put in the effort to get clean laps in and have the confidence to fight out of those clean laps, because if you don't have the confidence, you make a half-assed move into a corner and you spin the car in front around. We saw it with Fox and we saw it with Bryce. It's trying to be up there and not having the confidence to really push it through with your move, which you have to. If you're not decisive, if you're indecisive in those situations, nobody can predict whether you go for it, you don't, and you crash. Something for Jamie now, he's right up there and started literally from the bottom, and everyone moved out of his way to present him the podium he's been waiting for these couple of races. He feels that he made a tiny bit too many mistakes and really wants to show that he has podium potential pace. Tonight seems to be so far a good situation for him, as Mark Crawford also has a 10-second time penalty up front. Don't know.
Speeding in the pit lane.
Speeding in the pit lane.
So another driver that has had an issue, and that has thrown the... I tell you what this does mean is the Williams driver of Gamer James, who is... been quietly going around his business right now. Where is he sitting in the standing? He's currently P6 in the standings, with a DNF as 6th in the 5th. He's in a very good position to win this race right now. And I tell you what, there is a chance here that Jamie can still win this race, albeit with a little bit of a lag. It's James versus Jamie. So, that's be interesting. We've got Reaper further down the field, and of course the Red Bull, of course. These are the guys that had issues earlier on in the race, and then we've got a whole gaggle of cars here of Shiesty, Jack, Joe, IDN, and Oaken. I think not too far away, and Shiesty just does not have any pace this afternoon. Whatever has happened down in Australia, it's not gone the way that he wants to, and here goes an opportunity to the outside then. Into the chicane. Gets the job done. I think he'll back out of that one. Yeah, he does. So Shiesty knows too well right now not to try and stick a car up the inside side by side through that corner. Thinks better of it and moves aside. He's really struggling today down under, isn't he?
Drive-through penalty certainly didn't help.
Yes, most certainly that didn't help. And I think, I'm just trying to figure out, he's on 9 lap old tyres, so he hasn't come in the pit lane yet, Len. So that drive-through penalty has pretty much ruined his afternoon, because looking at the tyres, he thinks the only one to stop, I think Oaken as well. I think everyone else, so we got Ivan. I think it's quite difficult to see who's actually yet to stop, because like I said, we're looking at it here and it says one stop for everyone, but I think that's counting those with the drive-through penalty. So it's
I'm
difficult.
not too sure about that. It might have gone wrong for them even further because those tires are not as old as the race is. So Scheisty seems to have stopped, probably thinking he could get rid of the drive-through under the VSC, probably.
Ah, yes. I think you're right there.
Changing tires instead of serving the penalty.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. So it's a double whammer for him. As Joel and IDM battling. IDM just got ahead in the car. Is very wide there was Joel. Gets a 3-second time penalty. Luckily keeps it out of the wall. I think Jack's made a mistake. We got yellow flags. And that's Scheisty. If it could go bad, it's got worse for the McLaren as he damaged the car. Front right end plate says yes, it is. It's gone, and what could have been the de facto championship leader is tumbling down. He's in the gravel. It's all gone to pot, and I think this might be another stop. Is it a retirement for Scheisty? We know his tyres are gone, and Jamie is flying up front as his teammate comes into the pit lane. And will he carry on? New front wing. Yep, so he's going to carry on his merry way. He wants to push, but
he has to.
Here's Jamie.
He absolutely has to. If you want to fight for a championship, every point counts. So you can't just retire the car off of a bad start. There's still possibilities half the race that there are safety cars coming out to push the door open for him to get some points back. And even if he
Yellow
doesn't...
flag, something's gone on, someone cut over you. Is that the Red Bull IDN in the wall? Down there, I'm trying to see if we can see it. Is this a retirement on circuit? Yes, looks like a retirement. The front wing's gone. But that might be in a retirement on circuit unless that front wing destruction has killed his car. Something's definitely going on there. No safety car, fortunately. Look at Jamie right now. He's got himself right up here. And James has dropped down then. So he was leading this race earlier on by a little bit. It's now back to Mark Crawford. But of course, with that penalty, means we got yellow flags flying. And what's that for? I think people in the pit lane. So I think a slight bit of buggy going on.
I think James undercut Jamie early on, so that's why he was up front. He did not have the pace Mark Crawford showed earlier, while Jamie really seemed to close in on those guys earlier on.
Mark Crawford, 3-second time penalty, just as we mentioned his name. And it's not gone the way that Mark wanted. Of course, that 10-second time penalty has scuppered it a lot more, but he still looks like he could finish, especially in the top 4 here, because... well, we're halfway through this Grand Prix right now, and you can just see the gap there. The first, 3, and you got 4 for the Red Bull just coming through the corner behind. And then a little bit of gap right down to Nightcrawler, then, of course, Joe, Ivan, Jack, and Oaken all together as well. And look for Jake as well, he's not had a good afternoon. DRS enabled on board with Jamie, down towards turn number 1. And I'm going to wonder, where are you going to place your bets for an overtake? Well... you would say turn 1's a good opportunity. Turn 2 down here is always a good chance. But you kind of see if you can get close up as you can. Use the DRS down, especially through the towards the middle sector. And blast away through. And let's see then. As long as he gets the car going. He seems to be, the lag seems to have settled ever so slightly for Jamie right now. So that's always good to see. But if there's an opportunity, here it is. Down the straight, and James knows it right now. He's going to pull to the inside, and there's not a lot you can do about this. Here goes Jamie up to P2 then, and now he has a real opportunity to win this race, as long, of course, as everything goes the way he needs it to go for the next, 13 laps. So there's still trouble, there's still drama to come, but it's so far looking the way of the McLaren. And what a comeback this would be. Would he have got lucky with all those drive-through penalties? Yes. But he didn't get one himself. He may have had some lag-induced incidents from what I've heard in the chat. So we'll see if anything comes of it. But so far he is doing a brilliant job. Papa is ever so slightly not there for the second, but hopefully he shall rejoin us in due course, unless he's had a party issue again. We'll keep trying to get hold of my fellow co-commentator. Is Jack battling? I think it's out Ivan in the pit lane. Yes, it is. Papa, you there? Don't think he is. Oh dear. Well, something's certainly gone on right there. Soisty currently P13. Like I said, he is having a torrid evening so far. Was second of the championship. Will presumably drop down a few positions here as Bryce gains a position as well. We're just keeping an eye through the grid as the field's starting to spread out ever so slightly. And Jake, currently on ninth position, has done his second stop. And the first, I think, of the... he's the second of the two stoppers. As Bryce gets a time penalty. As the chat, who do you think potentially here could be the driver of the day? Let us know in the comments as well. As I will try and see if I can gain base to my co-com in a moment. I don't know if I've got issues with his end, or he's got issues with my end, or he is... well, he's gone to the stratosphere, who knows? Ocon currently down there. He's got Shiesty right up behind him. The Ferrari and McLaren back together as well. Well, here's your leader, Mark Crawford. Doing well. Nightcaller for me at the moment. Has had a brilliant drive compared to other races as Jack Craig comes into the pit lane as we look on board then with the battle for 12th and 13th. I believe this is the final point playing position, if memory serves correctly on the one-hop point scoring system. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong right there. Again, though, Shiesty hasn't...
12th, I believe.
Yes, welcome back. Well, I thought we lost you.
Yeah, I'm terribly sorry. I had an emergency.
Ah, well, hopefully everything's okay then. I'd say it's between Nightcaller and Jamie for me. As, I tell you what, here's Ivan just come out the pit lane, I think, a few moments ago. And now he's ahead of these guys, just about. As, was there a bit of a lag switch right there? Well, in comes James from second, well, now in fourth position. Where's he going to come out then? Fox with a 3-second time penalty. He'll come, well, in comes Nightcaller as well. So, should comfortably come out ahead of Joel Flats here. Down the straight he comes. And let's see. Gap should be around about 2 to 3 seconds. Indeed it is. So that's gone the way he needs it to go so far. We'll get the interview gap as well, so we can all see. Let's see actually who is on what tyres as Nightcaller comes out the pit. They'll be very close here with Jake coming down towards turn number 1. In fact, it's going to be awfully close down towards turn number 1, and they really had to get on the brakes then, Nightcaller, because those tyres cold and was on a careering path towards him. Further down the field, we have got Ivan battling. He's dropping a position. He's got the McLaren up the inside, but the McLaren thinks better of it and has had a terrible exit because of it.
It's absolute heartbreak for Shiesty. I believe struggling to get back into the top 10, back into the points, while he sees the slower guys up front. It must be absolute heartbreak for him.
11 laps to go. Mark in the pit lane. Jamie in the pit lane as well. Back to you, apologies.
Yeah, no, everything is fine. Reaper, I believe, said before in the pre-race interviews that he really felt held back by the penalties he had. That he was just looking for a clean race, to maybe dial back a little bit, not give it 100% all the time, keep pushing, because then you make concentration errors. Looking at all the guys getting 10-second penalties, drive-through penalties.
Well, you just said it, you had to say it, and he's got a penalty.
Oh, Jesus.
That's my job.
So sorry, Reaper.
That's my job. You've taken my job from me. I tell you what, Jamie just made a mistake there because he almost got re-overtaken by James, so he's got to keep his concentration up. But he has got no ERS, and he's using all of it as well just to try and pull away. So he's got no ERS left in the tank. So this could provide a very topsy-turvy finish then in this race, as Jake gets a time penalty as well. And it's the afternoon for penalties down under here in Australia. And Joel with a 13-second time penalty. You can see 666 for Ivan, Fox and King. 333 for Jack, Jake and Oaken. And Nightcaller as well. Thank you very much for joining my collection of penalties right there. You just had to do it. You had to do it when I mentioned it. In, I think, has come Reaper. And he's going to come out the pit lane. I tell you what here, not too far behind these guys here. And Mark Crawford, with that issue he had ever, in fact, Reaper is jumped. He has jumped the cars behind. So Reaper can still get on this, Dan. He's on the medium compound tyres. The two ahead on the hards. There's still a late race drama to come here. How much pace has Reaper got? Because he's a man on the mission now and he's got the best tyres for it. So we'll look down the field. Joe Flat in 9th position. A little bit over the grass down towards turn number 1, but gets itself all hooked back up on the exit. So a lot of mistakes today. That's going to be the talking point from this one. Australia has proved to be a difficult one here in P4. And we'll see what happens in P3 in just under 15 minutes. Unless it is delayed ever so slightly for the end of this stream to be done. But luckily, as I'm streaming it, it should hopefully be a little bit better as well. Jamie leads from James. Reaper, 3.7 seconds now the gap behind. And you got to wonder right now, is there a little bit of pressure? There's a little bit of nerves going from Jamie from what is the back of the grid. Because fastest lap now from James. He's pushing on a lot harder. And these two know they can win here today. Mark Crawford, a 19.4. But he's going to be ruining himself after that 10-second time penalty earlier on. Because he had a real opportunity to win this race. Remember as well, all these drivers that had drive-through penalties. It's a topsy-turvy race down under in Australia. It's certainly flipped the book, to say the least. And the gap 0.5 of a second. James to Jamie down the straight, DRS enabled, and you can just see right now James saving more ERS right now. He's just saving it. And Jamie, he's trying his best as well to save as much. You can just see the gap closing to what now is just under 0.3 of a second. Turn number 1, always an opportunity. The gap behind though now down to 2.9 seconds. It was 3.9 earlier. It's taken nearly a second out of these two. So the gap closing all the time. And you can just see in the background the Red Bull lurking. And he knows right now, if he can get these two to go a bit closer and battle a bit harder, take more out of their tyres, he can have a real opportunity, especially if there's a mistake out ahead. The Aston Martin comes to be lapped in a few moments' time. And these two, just looking at the ERS usage, and you can just see right now, a little bit of ERS usage right there for James. But Jamie, half the ERS compared to it, 22% to what was about 40% a few moments ago, 27 for Reaper. He's now got another half a second out of it. And this is going to be a little bit tetchy towards the end, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think Jamie right now is starting to gap James, get 1 second ahead, leave the DRS behind. I'm not sure if that's the clever approach. He could have been working together with James and just decided in the end. Exactly, that was what I'm thinking about. Keeping the car behind in your legs just enough to help not being overtaken by the fast approaching guy on the quicker tires.
Yeah, indeed. Rydog saying Charles the battery for James and go full on attack at the end. Well, that's an opportunity, but look, the gap now, 2 seconds, 1.9 seconds. It's dropping all the time, and this is going to be difficult here for these guys on the hard compound tyres. The mediums will easily go to the end here. We know that much for a fact. 1.4 seconds now, another half a second. And it's closing, closing, closing. And now all of a sudden, James is going to have to look. Do I want to attack ahead or do I want to look behind? Because Reaper, the man who was, I'm pretty certain, in the top 3, or I think he might have been on pole position. That's we can actually have a look to see where he was. It was 2nd position. And he's now finding himself in a very good place. So these tyres will die after 6 laps, and there are, what, 3 laps old, so another 3 laps, about lap 27, so he can use as much of it as he can right now, but how much has he got? And well, he's in DRS, that's for certain, I believe, nearly. In fact, he is in DRS, so that gap is now 0.5 of a second. And I think he'll be passed down here, you know, especially down towards turn number 1 if you get a good exit. Let's see. Curly versus Nightcrawler coming up further down the field, but here comes Reaper, looking to the inside, late braking manoeuvre. Couldn't quite do it. James covers it off just about there, and that got a little bit close, like you said in the chat. Nightcrawler and Curly coming together, and here comes Nightcrawler with the DRS, with the ERS, and it'll be a brave lunge down towards turn number 1. Thinks better of it, gets tucked up right behind, but here it is, down towards turn number 1. This is the opportunity he's looking for. Takes the initiative, down the inside he goes, gives him no space on the exit, there's a bit of contact, and James a 3-second time penalty, and will let him through. Releasing Reaper, and now can Reaper, he's got 2.9 seconds to gain, and then needs to try and find 3 seconds. It's going to be a tall order. I don't quite think he can do it, but there's definitely a second position on the board right now for him, and what a recovery from the drive-through penalty earlier on, but Jamie, it's got to be a bag of nerves right now up front. Leading in Australia, had a terrible first 2 races. He did not have the results he wanted. He knows he could have been doing well. It's Jamie's race now to lose. And he has to just take it cool. He doesn't need to get a time penalty. You can just kind of relax a little bit potentially, but you don't want to relax too much. And further down the field, meanwhile, talking of moves, up the inside comes Shiesty and gets the job done on the Aston Martin. And you've got to be nice and steady right now. The gap 2.7, 2.5, it's coming and closing. Those tyres now, what, 4 laps old, coming to 5 laps old. And he needs to really run out. If Reaper wants to win this race, half a second a lap he needs to take out of it. But that gap is opening, I think, now ever so slightly. So like the chat said, the tyres are going off. Fox has gone for a set of soft tyres, so he's going for the nothing to lose strategy right now. There's Nightcrawler and Curly still battling.
Yeah, I think it's
a little bit of issue right there, I think, with your mic for a second.
Yeah, not an issue, just stupidity.
A little bit of issues. That's all. It happens sometimes. But it's 2.8. I think Jamie's got this, you know, unless something goes catastrophically wrong, which is a corner here where you can go catastrophically wrong. But don't worry, we're all fine.
He really does not make an advance anymore, and does not reel him in quickly enough to even get close for an overtake, and to even ask them to get 3 seconds ahead. Without the full battery, without the aid of DRS, will be a tall order. Because pushing these tires, the mediums are not gonna last forever. They already had the best of their life behind them, I believe. Now should come the crossover point where he has the same pace as the guy in front on hards. So let's see the final laps. He obviously will be pushing, hoping that maybe Jamie gets a penalty as well, giving him everything, every bit of fighting power that he has till the end. That's the approach he's gonna have.
Nightcrawler and Curly still in 5th and 6th position. Still, I think these two are going to go for the last lap battle. I think that's the closest battle so far on the grid. Up front, gap now 2.7 seconds. A battered and worn car, covered in dirt and debris, is on course for what is a monumental victory then for Jamie. Started 14 positions lower than he did. He started in P15, albeit very lucky, I'd say, in this race due to others' issues, but you take what you get, and this is turning into a recovery drive for the man who said he needed to have these drives He needed to do it, and he certainly is doing everything he can do right now. The man who is, I believe, what is 7th in the standings, a 5th and a 9th in the last 2 races, sits on 14 points. Nightcaller apparently has damage, I've just been told. Yep, he does. And now all of a sudden, the Mercedes behind will pounce. Here he comes then, and this is going to be very much like taking candy from a baby, you would imagine. Outside line versus inside. The Ferrari knows right now, diving to the inside, there'll be contact. And he can't do anything about it right there with the damage. We'll drop down to 7th. And what is turned to be a very, very hectic race of pit stops and dramas. And you've got to wonder what could the likes of Jake, Ivan, Shiesty and Bryce have done. Well, especially Shiesty, Ivan and Jake with those drive-through penalties earlier on in this motor race. Well, it's proved to be something that's not gone well. The penalty status, of course, is this. 3 seconds for Reaper, James and Crawford. 3 seconds for Jack, Nightcaller, Joe, Oaken and Jake. Ivan on 6. And Bryce on 6 as well as Fox. As we begin the last lap here, down under in Australia. And Jamie has to do one more tour. One more race. The gap behind up now to 3.7 seconds. And he's just done everything he needs to do. Luck has come his way. And a little bit of lag, of course, apparently earlier on with contact with another driver. So we shall see if anything does come of that one. I don't think there's much you can do with the lag. It's certainly stabilised for Jamie today. He's got one more sector after this corner here. He's using all of his ERS. He's pushing as hard as he can. Probably just to try and open as much of a gap to Reaper in case of any issues or penalties. But the gap is now what? Will be 7 and a bit seconds. As here he comes then. The man who said he needed to do it more. He needs to get his head down. Well, he's going to prove it just right then. Through he comes. Last 2 corners. Down on the brakes into the second last corner. The crowd will rise for Jamie, who will come through the last corner. Here down in Australia. He knows he's done it. He wins the Australian Grand Prix. He's done it at last. Reaper across the line in 2nd. James will finish in 3rd. What a result that will be for the Williams driver. Mark Crawford will finish in 4th. And he knows right now a race that he could have thrown with the 10-second time penalty. Curly will come across the line in 5th position, I believe. And then, of course, it's going to be the gaggle of cars. Curly 5th. Jack 6th. Nightcaller 7th. And then Joel, a 3-second time battling for Oaken to make it a little bit worse. And I think he will still finish in 9th place. Jake through the last corner. And another driver who will be ruining the drive-through penalty from earlier on at the beginning of the race. 10th for him, Shiesty. This is not the result he wanted, but it's a result that his team has got. 1st and 11th for them. Ivan will cross the line in 12th. And the 2 Aston Martins. King, who was running a brilliant 4th until contact with the Red Bull earlier on. And Fox a lap down in 14th position. But Jamie has finally done it. He's broken the curse he's had in the first 2 races. And has won round number 3. And a beautiful race for him as well.
Yes, very beautiful, very deserved. No penalties. One of the very few drivers to keep it clean throughout. And with that grid penalty, he started from 15th, as you said, and won this race. Really brilliant effort from him. As well as from Reaper on 2nd and James on 3rd. Really congratulations on those podiums.
Certainly, McLaren on the top step of the podium then. And what this means for the constructors is, I believe right now, it is going to be McLaren leading the constructors potentially with that one. As we're looking to see where is the Hasses, where are the other cars, they're right down the field. So I think McLaren will leapfrog into the lead of the constructors because of Jamie. 2 points for Shiesty as well. As we just see there, the grid just again all the way through. But it is Jamie. No penalties, no issues from 15th on the grid. May have got lucky, but that's all you need in Formula 1. And luck has gone his way for what has been an absolutely brilliant Australian Grand Prix. And to round it off, because I know we've got to end the stream in due course, we shall do the sponsors one last time. Over to you. I think potentially we've lost our fellow comrade. For the second, I will try and get the sponsors up myself then, which is somewhere. It's up here. Where is it? There it is. And of course, to our sponsors and partners, to Delta.app, the title sponsor of the league. This is for 18s only. All your investments in one app. Make the smart decisions like the world's top investors and track your journey to success with Delta. If you use the command !Delta in the Twitch chat or click the link in the YouTube description, you'll be able to use it to track your investments. To Next Level Racing, sponsor the league by providing some prizes each season. The Sim Racing Setup provides a Pro Setup bundle for F1 2025 created by top esports drivers. To Pure Sim Gear, sponsor the league by providing sim racing socks and gloves to the driver with the most fastest laps and poles over the course of the season. Can use the code OHR10P to get 10% off. That is OHR10P to get 10% off on their sim racing socks and gloves. To Vespertine, partnered with Vespertine, supports our official apparel and provides some great merchandise prizes. And to SimGrid, who powered by SimGrid runs our seasons through their community and platform as well. But I believe, unless Papa is still here, I don't believe he is, so we shall round off right there. Don't forget to join me and Lawrence in due course in a few moments' time for the next instalment here today. But from me and Papa, I've been Evil. Papa has been Papa. I'm sure he'll say bye, but I'll say bye for him. For now, until next time, take care and see you soon.